Our enterprise is a part of a large production association in Tumen, which is engaged in the production of medicines. We use various pharmaceutical equipment that meets the requirements and standards of GMP for production, a unit for dehydration of aqueous solutions, and extracts in a fluidized bed apparatus, rotary tablet machines, an automatic line for packaging tablets into plastic film, and foil and other high-tech machines and apparatuses. At the beginning of last year, we received a large order for the supply of antiseptic for surface treatment. We concluded a contract for 2 years. The antiseptic was to be supplied in a 1-liter plastic container. Implementing the order at our plant was impossible without the purchase of new equipment. Our bottling and capping area has equipment for bottling into plastic bottles, but it is designed for capping bottles of a maximum volume of 200 milliliters. We decided to purchase a new automatic bottling and capping machine. It had to be able to automatically feed and fill antiseptic into 1-liter plastic bottles. The material of the equipment had to be durable and wear-resistant. In case of production necessity, the equipment was planned to be repurposed for 500 milliliters bottles with glucose. This criterion had to be considered when purchasing filling and capping equipment. In pharmaceutical production, it is very important to control raw materials, finished products at each stage of drug production. For this purpose, the company uses analytical equipment, which carefully monitors the ratings and minimal deviations from the norm. Automatic equipment for bottling must ensure specified technological parameters of raw materials, and not to change them in the process of production. I have been working at our enterprise for 10 years as a chief engineer, and I am used to do my work qualitatively and work only with specialists. I took the choice of a filling machine seriously. I didn't search for equipment on the internet, because very often a pretty picture hides unprofessionalism. I visited the International Exhibition of Equipment, Raw Materials and Technologies for Pharmaceutical Production, which was held in Moscow. There were many bottling machines on display, companies from all over the world. I chose the 3 most suitable for my requirements, and took contacts from the representatives. It was necessary to agree the selected automatic equipment with the management, and then sign a contract for the supply. Having returned back to the company, I started contacting the representatives of the equipment manufacturers by phone. A company from Germany agreed to supply bottling equipment, but asked me to come and sign the contract in person. Unfortunately, I could not travel to the EU, as I did not have a visa, and the visa process would have taken at least 3 months. One company from China sent me a catalog of products in the mail. I chose for a long time, but I could not figure out whether the equipment can fill bottles of plastic, what the allowable volume of bottles. A third manufacturer from Krasnodar listened to me and replied that he could make the equipment only 6 months, citing the large volume of orders. I had to refuse, since I needed the machine in the shortest possible time. The contract for the supply of antiseptic had already been signed, and we could not wait so long for automatic equipment for bottling and capping. A machine had to be found, and I realized that I couldn't do it myself. This made me a little less confident. Here, however, I was helped by the manager of a company in Krasnodar, who advised me a specialist in the supply of pharmaceutical equipment, which would be able to find another option of equipment. Following his advice, I contacted a specialist intermediary of a Russian company. At that time, I had no idea that I was doing the right thing. The manager of the company listened to me, asked a few clarifying questions about the material of bottles, the required productivity, the error tolerance of the equipment. I was pleased with his professional and business-like approach. After a preliminary consultation, he suggested 2 options for the equipment for filling, which differed in the boundaries of the dosage and performance. Specialist of this company sent by email a video of the proposed machine options, which clearly demonstrates the equipment itself and its capabilities. I showed these 2 machines to the management, and we agreed on the line, which provides dosage from 250 milliliters to 1.5 liters. A week later, we made a contract for automatic bottling and capping equipment. The manager asked for a sample of our bottle to test it on the machine. Before justifying the equipment, the specialist sent a video of our machine. The machine consisted of a conveyor belt, a filler, optical sensors to control the availability of bottles, and a mechanical cap closing system. Finished vials had to be taken away by an additional conveyor belt. Control of the filling process is carried out by means of an LCD screen. 40 days after conclusion of the contract, we received the working equipment for bottling and capping, and already after 3 weeks, we started to execute the order and deliver the antiseptic to the customer. The machine works perfectly. There were no failures in operation. Initially, I was skeptical about choosing a manager, relying on my own experience, but I realized that one should always learn and not be afraid to trust a professional.